guess who's back in the motherfucking house with some heavy metal news for your mouth, for your ears and everything. Gonna get to the news, gonna do a little singing. Jive Talkin with my friends. All the fun, it never ends. Gonna have a good time, gonna have a good spiel. Gonna go and buy a drill. What's the name called? Jive Talkin with Shane D. It's a Jive Talkin with Shane D. Shitballs. Jive Talkin with Shane D. Come on now, Jive Talkin with Shane D. Oh, shit, that was good. My God, that was good. What was that, 49? I got to remember that setting. What's going on, everybody? How you doing out there? Welcome back to another edition of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode number 21. We're doing it, guys. We're really doing it. I'm getting better at reading. All sorts of things are happening in the hard rock and heavy metal news. This is one of your many sources to find hot takes on hot news about heavy metal and hard rockin'. So what do you say we get to it? Who is this? Who's this fella right here? He's the beefy boy. That's Chris Jericho of Fozzy. And if we've done a video autopsy on him asking the question, does Fozzy lip sync? Does Chris Jericho lip sync? Remember Sebastian Bach and him? They really want to lay down naked in a bed together and make love, but they keep just going at each other. And then Chris Jericho admits Fozzy uses backing tracks for some songs. Claims everybody else does it as well. So we're going to get into this first story here. Of course, I've got all your comments ready to go for the last episode. So let's just do it, guys. Let's just do it. In a new interview with Meltdown of Detroit, WRIF radio station, Fozzy frontman Chris Jericho touched upon the subject of rock bands using pre-recorded backing tracks during live performances. He said, "We use backing tracks for some songs, and everybody does it, unless you're Guns N' Roses." Let me rephrase that. If you're in Slash's band, Guns N' Roses has backing tracks. They have a keyboard player. It's just the way of the world right now. It doesn't mean we're not singing and not playing. If you're listening to a record, you go to a Def Leppard gig and you hear "Pour Some Sugar on Me," that was recorded with 25 guitar tracks. You can't just go with 2 guitars on stage and in your right mind think there was something that there wasn't something building up to the break background there. What? It's just kind of the way that bands are. It doesn't make you any less of a band, because you know what? Queen used tracks in the 70s. You're not Queen, Chris Jericho. You're not Freddie Mercury. If you don't believe me, watch it when they play Bohemian Rhapsody live. Here's the first thing that I would say is, if you're in a heavy metal band, you get up there with your 2 guitars. Even if you've had to track 3, 4, 10 guitar tracks, you get up there with your heavy metal guitars and you play them. I don't think that people are really going, geez, that sounds less, Think about bands that have 1 guitar player, like Pantera and stuff. When he's soloing, you just hear Rex back there playing the bass. There's a nice compensation there for that. But what does he say? Back in July 2020, Jericho was accused by Sebastian Bach of using pre-recorded lead vocal tracks during live performance. There's an F there, guys. THEF. Theft. That's not a word. The former Skid Row frontman initially claimed Jericho was miming to a tape at Fozzy concerts in a social media post. In response, the wrestler turned rocker insisted that he had never mimed anything ever and challenged Bach to a sing-off with no effects, no tuning, no bullshit, saying, "Baz is a great singer, but I'm better." You let the air out of the sail there when you admitted to the backing tracks. I mean, look, if people want to use the backing tracks and stuff, that's fine. That's fine by me. I don't have a beef, but don't lie about it and say you're not doing it. The problem, and I've mentioned this before, the problem that I have with Kiss, talking about backing tracks and stuff, is that Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons are known for going out and blah, blah, blah about how these bands are cheating. You know, you remember all that Britney Spears stuff, Christina Aguilera and stuff. We get up there and we do it. Well, you don't. So just fess to it, right? Bach also addressed the fact that Jericho accused him of having a less than original stage name after Sebastian slammed Jericho for copying the name of Skid Row's tour for Fozzy. I mean, Fozzy's, isn't that just a take on Ozzy? I don't know. Get in the comments and tell me. I switched a couple of letters of my last name, Dirk. Is that Sebastian Dirk? Who's Mongoose McQueen? Bach asked, referring to Jericho's original Fozzy stage name. Mongoose McQueen was his original name? What kind of stage name is that? How about, now, these are quotes. Who's this from? Is this Jericho's? Or this is Sebastian. How about this? Professional wrestling sucks. Yeah, that's Sebastian. Everyone wishes they were a rock star. It's hilarious. Evidently, all you have to do is record a tape, go on stage, and jump around. Jericho does a lot of jumping around. You can jump off the drum riser and do jumping jacks. It doesn't matter if you are miming to a tape. It's true. When you're jumping up and down and doing stuff like that, you're breathing. You're running out of breath. So you have to, you're missing words or whatever. I wanna like an animal. It's the way it is. Jericho's most public reaction to Bach's criticism came in January 2021 tweet. At the time, he wrote, "I've been told that at Sebastian Bach continues to go out of his way to bury me. My response is this: be my guest. You're entitled to your opinion, and it doesn't affect me either way. I still dig your work on the first 3 at official Skid Row albums and look forward to your new record." So he's being very diplomatic there with that. So I guess the next question would be, what say you about all of this? After a self-proclaimed Bach fan called Sebastian an asshat. What? After a self-proclaimed Bach fan called Sebastian an asshat on Twitter for firing the first shots in his war of words on Jericho, Bach came back with, "Hey man, fuck you. I have spent my life learning how to sing live on stage. When someone comes along and mimes to a tape, it sucks for all the rest of us that don't. You want to go see a wrestling match? Good. Don't call it rock and roll." All right. So there he has that. There you have that. So I guess my video autopsy might have actually been proper. People say he's not doing it. He is doing it. It's a guitar. A lot of people will say the guitar player's singing. You can't see the guitar player, but he's singing. That happened with the Wasp when I thought he was lip syncing. Someone said, "Oh, it's the guitar player, and he sounds exactly like him, and he's right off the stage, and you can't see it." This is the same thing that happened with the Fozzy one that we did. Oh, the guitar player's off stage, and he does it, and he sounds exactly like him. So I don't know. You be the judge on that. Here's something. Udo Dirkschneider's advice to new bands: don't sign a contract with a record company. I wanted to read this. Look at this little guy. He's looking into that camera like all I want is a Subway sandwich right now. In an interview with Chaos Zine, former Accept and current Udo frontman Udo Dirkschneider spoke about the changes he has seen in the music industry since he started out more than 5 decades ago. He said, "There have definitely been some changes in the music business." Laugh. It's not like the 80s anymore. Definitely the selling of CDs going down on one hand. We can be lucky with our kind of music. The people want to really have the physical product in their hands, so we are not as affected by the music streaming revolution as what happened, for example, in pop music or whatever. But it's likely, really, you're selling less albums. The biggest problem, I think, is it's for young bands. They cannot sell that much albums, and the record companies don't have that much money to support them for a longer time. Yeah. I saw some bands, really good bands, they're coming up, and sometimes after 1 year, after 2 years, they don't exist anymore. They're gone. It's completely different than it was in the 80s when I started with Accept. A record company said, we want to make money after 5 albums. Can you imagine? After 5 albums. And they were putting a lot of money into the promotion, but I think these days are over. Laugh. I know that. For me, I know that the record companies hate me for it. For me, to give an advice to young bands is, first, believe in what you are doing, your kind of music, and second, don't sign a contract with a record company, Udo added. Just try to make your album on your own. I mean, now with all of the technical stuff, it's possible. I know that. Then sell the album over the internet. That's what I've been saying for years. Just maybe have a guy, you can pay him, I don't know how much money a month, month, he can go on all the metal sites and say, hey, there's a new album, and make also your own video clip. I mean, Jesus, you can do that with all these modern mobile phones. Boy, he really is an older gent, though, isn't he? The quality is so good, and then the whole money, it's going to the band. What I can say for young bands is do everything on your own and don't sign a contract with a record label. So all the money goes to you. If somebody asks me, do it like this, okay, maybe the record companies hate me more now for saying that. But anyway, I don't care. So Udo doesn't care. 50 years of rock and he don't care no more. I've said this for a long time that I think bands should, I mean, even independent labels are better than these major record labels because you really have to have a top shelf crew of people at those record labels that are going, we don't give a shit about nothing but Metallica. Believe you me, there's an office full of monkeys in there and they're saying Metallica, Metallica. That's all we do all day. You got a lot of these bands. They're at the bottom of the heap, right? They're at the bottom of the pile, and so it's hard for up and coming bands. So you're better off doing your own merchandise, doing everything, and yeah, making all that money for yourself. I think to get on the Billboard now, what was it that I can't remember what album we were talking about, but it was like 4,500 copies got you onto the Billboard charts. Remember when it used to be millions? The first week of the Def Leppard album sold, 600,000 copies. It's streaming. It's all of that now. And I wouldn't take that away. I love to be able to stream any song that I want to get at any time. I think the bands should all be paid a hell of a lot more for streaming each song and whatnot. But if you're a good band and you can get out there and maybe have like a Slipknot or somebody go, these guys are great, we're taking them out on the road, and they're an independent or on an indie label, that's the way you should do things. What say you? Get in those comments below and tell me what you think of that. I have to wet my whistle here. Michael Shanker, boy, this guy, he's got things to say about everybody, right? Him and his brother, they pull out each other's hairs, short hairs, and Michael Shanker says KK Downing copied his look in Judas Priest early days. It was unbelievable. Oh, it was unbelievable, right? And there's Michael Shanker. You know what I just heard for the very first time today? And you guys are just going to kick me right in you're going to want to get, Aunt Laura's old hairbrush and slap my bare ass because I heard, what was the song called? It was Michael Shanker Group, Assault Attack, for the very first time today. And it's like a classic. It was on like one of those, best metal songs of all time. And it was the first time I'd ever heard it. And another one that I heard that blew my socks off was Judas Priest Dissident Aggression. Is that what it's called? I know that song from South of Heaven from Slayer. And I just about shit in my underpants when I realized it was a Judas Priest cover that Slayer did on that album. Cray, guys. Cray. You guys going to take away my heavy metal card and say, dude, you're a loser? I hope not. Michael Shanker, the German guitar virtuoso who made his recorded debut at the age of 16 on the Scorpions' Lonesome Crow album and rose to fame as the guitarist of the English hard rock and rock band UFO, spoke to Canada's The Metal Voice about how he was able to influence an entire generation of guitar players that would define 1980s heavy metal. When interviewer Jimmy Kay brought up the fact that several members of Iron Maiden have publicly acknowledged the inspiration they drew from his early recordings, Shanker replied, as transcribed, "Yes, it's all true. Maiden bassist Steve Harris is complete Pete Way, late UFO bassist, fan. He even dresses like him. So does KK Downing from Judas Priest. When he dressed like me, I went to how do you say Whiskey a Go-Go in West Hollywood, California, when I was 18 years old, when I was only a first American tour, and there was Judas Priest playing. And there was Judas Priest playing. And my girlfriend and I, we wanted to see because we heard about that. And there was KK. There was KK Downing, the guitarist from Judas Priest, having my perm, my hair perm, tight kinky hair perm, and playing a flying V. Is almost identical outfit. I mean, I look at my girlfriend, she look at me. I was like, deja vu. It was like looking in mirror. I added that part. It was like, what is this? It was me again. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. So there you have that. He went to the concert and he saw it. Off topic, but about Michael Shanker, I listened to the Eddie Trunk Blackie Lawless interview, and he mentions how crazy Michael Shanker was back in the day, and that Chris Holmes had bought a motorcycle, and they were in a small, jam rehearsal spot, and I guess Michael Shanker pulled up in some kind of a Corvette or something, and he said, "Whose motorcycle is that is outside? I would like to try it." And they said, no, you can't do that. But he was insistent about riding it. And then they said he shot down the street on the motorcycle through like 2 or 3 red lights on, what's the big street there? Hollywood Boulevard, or I can't remember what the street was that Blackie said, but they were literally about to shit themselves because the guy, he said, I don't know how he did it, but he made it through 2 or 3 red lights without being killed on the motorcycle. So there you have that. Michael Shanker says, "Und KK Downing tried to steal my look." We are going hog wild over Eric Gronwall. We checked out the Youth Gone Wild from Eric Gronwall live performance that was on this last Friday, yesterday, I guess, and Skid Row's Rachel Bolan. This is the guy, see, if you look right there, he's got the earring in the nostril, and he's probably got the ears pierced as well, but he's lost the chain. He's put the chain around the neck and removed it from the nostril. So it's hard to tell who he is without that nostril ring, that chain. But he says, Rachel Bolan on new singer Eric Gronwall, from the minute he opened his mouth, we knew it was gonna be cool. So let's see what old Rachel says about this. Skid Row bass player Rachel Bolan says that the band's new frontman, Eric Gronwall, is a really, really hard-working singer that takes care of his instrument. Now, what they mean by that is he does those me, 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 me. So he practices that kind of stuff. Honey lemon tea and all sorts of stuff like that. Gronwall recently joined Skid Row as the replacement for Z.P. Thiert. A former member of Dragon Force joined Skid Row in 2016 with the departure of Tony Harnell. And we know this. TNT, Tony Harnell was only in there for a short time. Skid Row played its first show with Gronwall on March 26th at Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. They call that place Sin City. There's nudies and gambling and drinking and smoking and fucking and sucking and all sorts of stuff that's going on over there in Sin City. See, I'll prove it to you right here. It says Hollywood Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the support act on the rescheduled dates for Scorpion's Sin City Nights residency. Skid Row's 9-song set included its new single, The Gang's All Here, The Gang's All Here, which was made available on March 25th. The song is the title track of the band's upcoming album, which will arrive October 14th via Ear Music. Skid Row recorded The Gang's All Here in Nashville, Tennessee with producer Nick, I can't say that name, Nick Raskulinicic, who have previously worked with Foo Fighters, oh my goodness, Stone Sour, get out of town, Hailstorm, shit in my hat, Evanescence, Rush, and Alice in Chains, among many others. Jeez. Rachel discussed Gronwall's addition to the band in the new interview with Meltdown of Detroit's WRIF radio station. Asked about the stress and challenges of bringing a new singer into the band, Bolan said, "Listen here, honey sister child. It is a challenge, and you're under a microscope for sure. This time was different, though, man. It was just different. His ability and his just the way he does things and his work ethic is one I've never seen other than the four of us. Yeah, because they work really hard, so they just needed that fifth guy that works really hard. And they had to go through 3 or 4 or 5 singers just to find that dude that works really hard like they do. The 4 of us already in the band. He just doesn't stop until he gets things absolutely right. Whether it's his version, what he thinks is right, or what we think is right, he works hard. He works hard. And you can see why he had the success he did overseas, because he's really, really hard-working singer that takes care of his instrument and takes pride in his craft. I saw a clip of Eric Gronwall. He was on the maybe the Swedish version of America's Got Talent. Or not America's Got Talent, but American Idol. And he does 18 and Life to Go. How bizarre is that? This is a little while ago, but some many years ago, maybe 10. But he does a version of 18 and Life to Go on an acoustic guitar. And I didn't watch the clip to find out if he actually made it to the next level or not. One thing's for sure, though, guys, is that heavy metal doesn't go over well on American Idol. You got to do Katy Perry. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on and you got to do something like that. You can't do, I'm going to perform, Skid Row, Slayer, Metallica. They don't care. Although it would be great to see someone come in and do one. And do the whole guitar bit. They're like, when are you going to start singing, dude? I'm getting to it. Rachel also reflected Skid Row's first live performance with Gronwall, saying, "We all really wanted to get that first one under our belt. That first show as a whole. But we just were like, okay, let's do this, man. Because we had 2 days of rehearsals. We got together on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Then we took a day off so he could rest his voice. Me, 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 me. And plus, he's jet lagged by 9 hours. Does he still live in overseas? And then we all got together and talked. And it was like, okay, let's try and get his rhythm of pace of the show. And this and that. And then the first downbeat hit, and we were on stage, and I just remember looking over at Snake, guitarist Dave Sabo. After Eric started singing, I looked at Snake, and he was just smiling. He was just smiling. We're tough guys. We're not supposed to smile on stage. Honestly, dude, From the minute he opened his mouth, his timing is impeccable. We knew it was gonna be cool. And each show has gotten even better because we're learning. I would like it better if he was leaning, because we're leaning into each other. But it says, because we're learning each other's rhythms on stage. When I walked away from that show, I said to Eric, this was show 1, bro. Oh, I cannot wait for show 100. What did Sabo say to that? It's gonna be amazing, he said. Yeah, you better check with Sabo, because he might say, dude, he ate something off the craft service table he ate one of my brand muffins, and he's got to go. Right? So get down there in the comments and tell me what you think of that. I guess I should say this is also on Spotify. So if you're interested listening on Spotify and you would like to leave comments, well, you got to go to the YouTube video for this episode, because that's where I get the comments from. Here's a small are you guys Christian metal fans, Stryper fans? Well, look at this, honey sister child. Here's a small taste of Stryper's upcoming studio album. Look at them. The Yellow and Black Attack. It's good to see old Oz Fox looking healthy and spry and well, right? Michael Sweet of Openly Christian Rockers Stryper has shared a snippet of a song that will appear on the band's next album. The 58-year-old guitarist vocalist, who recently underwent surgery for a redetached retina. Jesus. That's in your eyeball, isn't it? Your retina? Took to his Instagram on Tuesday, April 5th, to post a 42-second video from the studio, and he captured it, "Let's hear this bad boy." A small little taste of the new Stryper album. All right, so I don't know that we need to read all this crap-a-roni, do we? It's the whole big thing that he put with the sweet treat. We're obviously not operating at 100%, he continued. Oz Fox, Stryper guitarist, lost the hearing in his left ear. Oh, I spoke too soon. And I've lost my vision. Hopefully and prayerfully short term in my right eye will be working this way, and it's certainly a first. How will it affect our performance? Not much. It's most likely will take a little longer to get what we want, but maybe not. We'll have to see how it goes. Where is it? Anyway, okay, finally we're getting to something here. Anyway, we appreciate your thoughts and prayers as we embark on what will be the 14th studio album, and I really believe that this is the one has a very strong potential to be our best. I don't say that lightly. I would never say it if I didn't believe it. Well, that's good. You got to believe in things, man. And you surely can't put out a new record going, this is going to be the squirts, man. This is going to be diarrhea. You got to say this is going to be the best that we've ever done. He continues, I hope to see you all at a Stryper show in the very near future. It's been way too long. May God bless you all. And may God bless everyone, one and all. So let's listen to this and see. Just so you know that I'm not being fake about this, you can see Michael Sweet Stryper. He's got that little blue check by his name on the Instagram. Let's see what this sounds like.
Let's hear this bad boy.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you, that's not sounding bad at all. Drums sound really good. I mean, if you got him going, Jesus, Jesus, come on down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That didn't sound too bad at all. What say you? Are you a Stryper head? Are you a Stryper fan, a Christian metal fan? Well, what did you think of that taste? You can get in the comments and leave me something there. Last, before your comments, my sweet and wonderful pals and friends and freaks, Metallica's Cliff Burton is getting a museum in Sweden. Get the hell out of town. Is this like a pop-up thing or what? I will tell you quickly. I think I made a video about this, or I've talked about it before, but I got to see Cliff Burton on stage. He died that same year. I want to say it was like 3 weeks after I saw him. 3 or 4 weeks after I saw him, he was killed in that bus. But he slapped my hand. I was a young boy, and it was they were opening for Ozzy Osbourne on the Ultimate Sin tour, and it was the Master of Puppets tour, and I was young, and, you know, back then it was like, who at Metallica, whatever. You know, most of the Ozzy fans didn't know who they were. That was the summer of Master of Puppets, Ultimate Sin, all of those records I was listening to. Screaming for Vengeance was really big that summer, too, for me. SOD was a big record, too. But I was down there in the front, and I could see, it almost looked like that, you know, he's got the Misfits Crimson Skull on his arm, and it almost looked like it was painted the way it was shining in the light. And he saw me. He saw me down there, and I was going, hey, and I put my arm out there over the rail, and he came down, and he gave it a wallop, man. He smacked it, and I was like, holy shit. Cliff Burton just slapped my hand. And I was happy as a clam about that until he passed away. Let's get into this. Metallica's Cliff Burton Museum to open in Sweden next month. A Cliff Burton Museum will launch next month in the municipality of Ljungby in Sweden. The Metallica bassist's life was tragically cut short in a tour bus crash on September 27th, 1986, 12 miles north of Ljungby. Sorry, burping in there. Young guy. He was 24 years young, that guy. In September 2006, a memorial stone dedicated to Burton at the Gyllen Raston restaurant bar in Dorap, outside Ljungby, was unveiled. It was 20 years earlier that Cliff died just over the road from where Gyllen Raston is located. According to Guitar World, the museum will include pictures, albums, posters, and tickets, along with interviews and photos from the first photographer at the crash site. Wow. Lennart Wenberg of Sweden newspaper Expressen. There will also be a film of recollections from first responders at the crash scene, as well as a stage that recreates Metallica's last performance with Burton in Stockholm, with copies of the band of the bass and the drum kit he and drummer Lars Ulrich used, plus a poster with Burton's last autograph. Wow. That's something else. The organizers tell Guitar World, we primarily wanted to honor Cliff Burton, who died so tragically in the middle of his career, and talk about who he was as a person and a musician. Our second main purpose is to create a meeting place for all those who seek the memorial site in the small community of Dorap. We want to continue the fine work, and the fans started when they started raising funds to make Cliff's memorial stone. Oh, what's this? Ljungby historian Christer Ljungberg, Jesus, he almost got the same name as Ljungby, who was involved in opening the museum, told CFD in 2001 that he had received messages of support from Metallica fans from around the world. Among them was a video of a fan in Mexico who asked how they could help build the museum. Was this quote, I'm not a huge fan of Metallica. Oh, is this the fan? But I usually say that I'm the biggest fan of Metallica's fans. Ljungberg said, I really love these people. They are absolutely amazing. Well, and there's millions and millions and millions of them, and they have some shekels in their pockets too. A newly started association, Bergbiden's Culture and Tourism, was awarded SEK, that's the money amount, awarded SEK 300,000, approximately 32,000 from the Swedish National Heritage Board, a government agency responsible for World Heritage sites and other national heritage monuments and historical environments, to help start the museum. The museum's launch events will take place Saturday, May 14th. Cliff was asked to join Metallica in 1982 after the band saw him perform with his group at the time, Trauma, who he was also in with. Get in the comments and tell me if you know the answer to this. Wasn't it Jim Martin of Faith No More, the early guitar player for Faith No More? I believe Trauma was the band that he had with them. That's enough of that, I think. I think that's pretty good that he's got the museum popping up there. We should do something. I mean, shouldn't the Bay Area have something for him? Or do they? It is time for your comments, my friends, my friends. So let's do this now. Won't you join me? Ed Z coming in here. So sorry for the loss of your friend and bandmate. Enjoying some Die Monster Die now. Yes. Rest in peace, Zero DeLorean. He has passed on, and I thank you very much for that, Ed. Hearing Gene Simmons say, we'll be quitting soon. Anyone else think if we had $1 for every time we heard that? Yeah, he said it a lot. Chuck Billy working with Gary Holt and Mark Morton is good news, but I would say the writing is on the wall as to the musical style coming from the supergroup. Anxious to hear what they create. Keep up the good work, brah. Love me some Jive Talkin. Well, we love you too, and because you said you love the Jive Talkin, guess what? Compliments will get you everywhere. You're getting a thumb up too. Oh, before I get going, I do see Miss Althea there, but I want to sort these by newest. Oh, there's only 3. Yeah, all right, so we're good. Miss Althea there, the dumbstruck fool, says, first and foremost, I am so sorry for the loss of Hugh Zero. Yes, Hugh. May he rest in peace, and I will definitely check out some tunes. The band name alone is epic. The movie is a sci-fi horror cult classic, in my opinion. Yes, the movie Die Monster Die. It's got Boris Karloff and is Bela Lugosi in that one too? I think Boris Karloff's in it. It's been years and years since I've seen that, but that's where the name came from. How about a Shane D. Billy Idol tribute compilation featuring the hits Jive Without a Face? Jive Without a Face. It's a nice day for Jive Talkin. Amen. You are singing my praises. It's a nice day for a Jive Talkin. I still have a 45 RPM single of Toto's Hold the Line. However, Africa, to this day, is one of my most hated songs of the 80s. You hate Africa? Just being honest. If I had to pick between those two songs, I would take Hold the Line. But I can't not kind of start, flexing my ass cheeks when I hear do, 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 do. You just, it's like, no comments on Gene Simmons' musings, and I am not enough of a fan or well-read enough on Manowar or Overkill to have anything constructive to say about their stories. Again, just being honest. There is a speculation that the Chris Rock Will Smith incident was staged, and I personally agree. But regardless, the metal riff soundtrack literally packed power to the punch. Yeah. That guy doing the leave my wife's name. That guy should score MMA fights. Boy, someone should put that little worm in his ear. I'm sure he'd do it. UFC the musical. Staying comment strong. If I do legitimately end up in the pit on occasion, then, well, yeah. You're here, and you're getting the heart, and you're getting the thumb, too, because it finally came through. And I did do the thing, right? Top comments. Yeah, there's the 3. And then let's do this newest first. Because that's what, when I did the newest first, then it popped everyone up there. And then I felt bad thinking that maybe some people had commented. Mike Buchanan coming in here. Anyone else sitting around with a big bowl of Cocoa Puffs eagerly waiting for Jive Talkin with Shane D? It's like Saturday morning waiting for cartoons to start. That is one of the best compliments you could give me. Mike, that is absolutely fantastic because I was that kid. Saturday morning, man. Justice League. You name all the cartoons that was on. And then the cartoons would roll into wrestling. Those were the days of Hulk Hogan, George the Animal Steel, Andrew the Giant, you know him, Andy the Giant. A Chuck Billy solo album sounds amazing. See, what I thought was interesting about that is he was talking about the sound of the record. He wasn't talking about the songs. He's like, I want to write songs that sound good on vinyl, like they're from the 70s. But it's like, you got to work on them songs, Chuck. You can't just say, go into the recording studio and say, make this sound like it's, from the 70s so we can put it on vinyl. Those songs have to, they gotta be good too. I don't think you're going to get, what was the song? Good Day to Die? Gary Holt, right? The Exodus song, good day to die. Ching, 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 ching. So maybe he could do a cover of that. And then that would sound like it was from the 70s. An Overkill new album, Be Still My Heart. They are my favorite metal band. Jersey boys represent. Yeah, I love Overkill. There's a few albums that I'm not familiar with, but for the most part, they just put album after album after album. And I've said before, they have one of the most solid, this is what we do, this is what we're going to do. So from album to album, they just put out great records. Another band, I would say, just puts out great goddamn records, every one of them, Creator. I've been listening to a lot of Creator recently. And it's just, all of it's good. And I don't know where you would go, well, maybe this, everyone has a stinker or two, right? But I mean, like Creator, they put out album after album after album, and they're all good. Same with Overkill. Great update as usual, and sorry for your loss, my friend. Yes, heart for you. We're giving everybody hearts and thumbs today, man. Come on. Let's go for it. Yeah. So that is your comments, my fine and fantastic freaks. I thank you guys for all the kind words and stuff about my friend, my fallen friend. May he be in Valhalla with his dogs Spook and Dave. He loved those dogs. There is a song that you could check out from Die Monster Die called Dogs Die All the Time. It's off the A Great and Terrible Loss album. And it's about a week after his dog died, Dave, that he wrote this song. And I got pretty choked up listening to it. The day after I learned of his passing. So, let's get into it, baby. Where's that one at? No, I want that one song. That song was so good. 4. See, it doesn't want to let you do the buttons. Tune. It's like tone. Yeah, 4, 9. Jesus. See, this is the worst part, man. It's just waiting around. Jive Talkin. We're doing this, I don't care. Jive Talkin and jiving around the talking, yeah. Talking to friends, jive talking, shit talking. Oh, shit. Good. Perfect.